I can't really title this Black Media because we've always done our part. We've
Mm,
always made sure our people have known what we need to know. And that is even if we had to be in the Underground Railroad and say, hey, pss, 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 pss. We leaving at
true.
8 p.m. tonight, bitch. Spread the word. Don't tell massa. So we've always had our own form of media. We don't
Hmm.
need these white people and they damn media. And especially now that we have YouTube and TikTok. I don't even watch CNN no more. Now I'm in tune because I'm in tune with the world and I pay attention to everything that's going on around me. But when I want that comfort, when I want to hear what my people are saying, and it just especially what's going on in the world, and I want to hear it in my language. Because how we talk and how we say things sometimes is just not correct to other people, but it's correct to us. So I feel like it's time for us to capitalize on Black media, our media, and we need to start producing it even more, even if that means we're at a lower level, and I put that in quotes by society standards. We have to create our own websites and get on these streaming platforms and eventually create our own streaming services, and that all be what we'll be tuned into. But my question to you is, how do you feel about the media, the regular white media, and their depiction of us in the media? Do you think they are still making us look bad, or are they just reporting the news? But we all know that it's propaganda and all of that. Again, when you get up to the mic, state your name and then your answer and whatever question you may want to pose to everyone. Welcome to the Black Point of View. This is the BNWO podcast. Simply, you can find it at BNWO underscore podcast. Here on YouTube for now, we will be expanding. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell so you get all the notifications and you know when we are live. Drop down in the comments and leave a comment so that we know your ass cheeks were in the room, because how else am I not or going to know that you are here? So let's open up the floor for our kings and queens to discuss. Show of
Mm.
hands.
Well, I'm up here. The voice of the BNWO, Finn Demon Goon, Goon's Daddy. I'll jump in first, and then Berg has his hand up, so he'll go after. Um, to answer the first question, how do I feel about the regular media or white media, as I'll say, or the Yakubian media? We're working on our propaganda as well. I mean, I've always looked at it with a side eye. Certain things I could relate to, certain things I couldn't. I think that if you understand the history as I've been forced to understand it, you always got to look at it with a side eye. Going into the aspect of the way that we are portrayed, I think they're always going to portray us as the bad guy, as the villain, as the Jezebel, as all of these negative things, which they have always done. But I do think that, in the final part, the second question that you had, I do think that we now have way more of an outlet to get our voice across. Like you said, we've always done our part, but I think now more so than ever, we have an opportunity to have more ownership in Black media, or more ownership in media. That way there can be pure or real Black media that is actually the stories or the writings of actual Black writers. And I think we have a lot of that now, but again, they're more so owned by companies like a Viacom or a Time Warner or a Universal Music Group. So there's not really Black ownership, but there is a lot of Black media. I just want to see a lot more Black owned media. But let me let
Well, wait a minute. Right before Bird goes,
right.
Yeah. So we actually need to own companies. That's a later part, I think, in this discussion when we get into like entertainment and the media and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, totally forgot what I was going to say. So, Bird, go ahead.
Go ahead, Berg, and then we got Rochelle.
So there's this good ass Kubian movie and shit with Jake Gyllenhaal called Nightcrawler. You feel me? You want to know how the Yakubians feel about you in the media? Watch Nightcrawler. Everything from the news is set up to make you think we just the most savage motherfuckers on the block and shit like that. You feel me?
Oh.
It's really not what it is, and it's really not what it is. It's
You cut out.
And it's theorized. These things are my shit. You hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, you coming in good.
Yo.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Yeah.
We hear you.
It's calculated. These things are theorized. You feel me? So it's like there's literal Yakubians in think tanks to quote unquote observe black people and shit. It gets even deeper and deeper when we talk about media. So if we just talking about on a news level and we're talking about going into 2025, you got to think about the last 10 years. You got a whole bunch of Yakubian children that just grew up watching black bodies die in front of them over and over again. On YouTube, on fucking TikTok, whether it was a riot, and these little motherfuckers is desensitized when they watching this shit. Just black bodies dying. Yakubian children. They already don't give a fuck because they coming from a family that don't give a fuck about the black bodies dying anyway. But now they soaking that shit up. You know what I'm saying?
I think now you're getting into the responsibility of what black media would need to do. Because this is
responsibility of that shit.
Nope. I don't even want you to go on it yet. I want Rochelle to go, but this is the thing. What I wanted to say before was white people, we not watching y'all shit. I'm not watching y'all shit no more. You know what I'm saying? I tune in to shit that I want to tune in, and then I go on over to the black podcast that I want to listen to. You know what I'm saying? So really, at the end of the day, it isn't their responsibility to show the beautiful and the positive of the black America or whatever we would like to call ourselves. They're going to keep showing what they want to show. They're going to keep showing us as savages. So it's up to us, actually, to create the platforms where we're showing positivity. Rochelle.
Hello, this is Rochelle speaking. So to answer your question about media, and especially how like white media and black media, I feel like I don't know if this could possibly go into the conversation, but being raised as a mixed white and black kid, it's you kind of have to watch white media, especially when you're raised in a predominantly white household. But I feel like with ever since the movie.
Give her 1 second.
And while she's cutting out, you also realized I also just made the point of, and this is not to get on anybody, but I just made the point of definitely watch all media. Hell, if you can understand Spanish, watch Spanish, the channel. You should know everything that's going on around you and what others are saying, but it shouldn't be your be all and go to. And with Berg and Rochelle, I'm a black kid. I'm a black man, and I loved my Sabrina the Teenage Witch and my fucking white people shit. You know, I definitely got into some of it, but not all of it. Rochelle, are you back?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that. But I feel like ever since the movie Birth to a Nation, where black men were seen as animalistic and white women were basically told and taught and raised with that film to watch out for Black men, and that us Black women are supposed to be submissive and these hypersexual beings. I feel like ever since that, and even way before that movie, we have been portrayed in media as someone that we are not. That doesn't, and that does not only include Black women, Black men, Black non-binary people, anyone who is part of and who identifies as part of the community of Black culture. And honestly, when I was younger, I watched a lot of white media. I watched a lot, and I still sometimes do here and there, but only that's because I'm weird like that. But I feel like there would have to be a lot of things to happen in order for us to even be seen as our true selves. Because, like, in media, whether it's books, whether it's movies, TV shows, videos on YouTube or whatnot, I feel like it would have to take a lot. And that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate
Venus?
you.
Hi, can y'all hear me? I'm using different
Yes.
headphones. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you're good.
It's me, Venus Pheromone. So can you repeat your question before I start to answer? Because I don't want to get too sidetracked.
Basically media. Do you think that in other forms of media besides Black media we're portrayed nasty? And if so, do you care? And what can Black media do just to spread our lifestyles and what we are going through and the news that is important to us? How do we spread that even more?
Okay, so how I feel about this topic is Black individuals who are creating media, whether it be writers, directors, or producers, are now more seen. I'm a YouTube baby because the way I grew up, we ain't got no cable. So I was always on YouTube looking from a very sculpted and curated media, I guess you could say, because I wasn't really in tune with what was happening on cable or what was white media trying to I guess give or portray Black people to be like. It wasn't until like my more formative years that I got more exposure to that. And so I love to see that. I was one of the very few that watched Issa Rae when she was just on YouTube, and now you see her with different shows, seeing certain actresses starting from actors and actresses from YouTube now actually starring in shows and taking that career more seriously, and developing that more portfolio in the professional, the white professional sense, in order to use that platform to also bring up other Black people. I give the example of Issa Rae because that's kind of like the more notorious person that I can think of right now. But like someone like Issa Rae that was Struggle Boat YouTube days, and now you see her bringing a lot of people to the forefront, or you see them more in different media, et cetera, et cetera. So I really love that and appreciate how Black media and people who are in Black media are pushing the culture forward and also creating new narratives for us. It's not tiresome. And that's one thing I think about white media that we're kind of coming up on. It's a Renaissance-like era right now for media, point blank, period. I feel like white media is very tired. People are getting tired of the same toxic shit, or they're tired of the same old tale. And some of these tales they've taken from us, and because they've taken it from us and they don't know how to give honor to these stories, it's getting very dry for them. They're running out of ideas. That's why they're trying to do reruns and all sorts of other shit to revamp the media, but you can't do the blueprint better than the blueprint, baby. So I love to see that we're in this like Renaissance field of different creators, both informationally and also in an entertainment aspect, be pushed to the forefront. Just today, I was listening to one of my political people, and she's obviously Black. And I love that she is talking about other Black writers that I was watching on YouTube as well, and how they're coming up in their careers now. They're no longer in their teens or their early 20s. Now they're in their 30s now. So I just love this uplifting moment that we're having, and how it's going to turn media in the next 10 years, 10 to 15 years to be something completely different. So that's one aspect of it. As far as what white media is giving right now, I just feel that people are tired of that, tired of what it has been given for the past 10 to 15 years. It's getting very tropey, it's getting very dull, and I can't wait to see how new people, especially ethnic people or people who are part of the LGBTQ spectrum, are going to now push the narrative of new storylines, new information, etc., etc. In terms of news, I also like the fact that we can now scope that ourselves. We can now fact check. If you're someone like me, I fact check still. Okay, I don't be up on here reading social media posts and taking whatever that's taken to me. Everyone now has more freedom and will to go out and look and craft what media you want to consume, what knowledge you want to actually get to the bottom of, all of that good stuff. So I think there's more control than any other time before. It's what we now do with that and how we move forward. That's it.
Real quick, shout out to the black commentators that we do have that usually speak in like the political realm, like the Angela Rise and like I'll even say Wendy from Real Housewives of Potomac. Venus, quick question. Do you think that we have more positive black images in media than we ever have?
I think it's a double-edged sword. Because you have some people who are mimicking the culture and those who are actually for the culture. It's a very fine line these days.
Not a Candace Owens at all.
It's just a double-edged sword. On one hand, I feel like, yes, there's more exposure to it and accessibility to it, but I also find that that's also a problem because people are copycatting, catfishing, I guess, blackness, and that's the part that gets me uncomfortable. I don't know what other word I could use right now, but it just definitely makes me uncomfortable because I feel like a lot of people are using our culture as some type of...
So even us creating our own companies and shows and everything, they're still going to be eavesdropping and watching us so they can run back over to them just like they took our songs in the 50s and the 60s.
I mean, of course, but like I said, you can never do the blueprint better than the blueprint, baby. So at a point in time, that's why I really feel like it's about to be a renaissance in media, point blank, period. And I can't wait to see what the next 5 to 10 years of media is about to look like, because we're having, just for an example, music in today's day and age, like black women are dominating music right now. There's so much.
Y'all been doing that.
Definitely, but this year I feel like it's been, between last year and this year, it's definitely been highlighted